This is another screen recording of me documenting the process of Mixdown of another track from FMP. I've already done a screen recording on this track and spoke about the methods and influences from it, so this is just for the Mixdown purposes. So for the chords, I have channel EQ on, and on the channel EQ I've taken away up to 174 Hz, and I've taken away on the highs also around up to 11,000 Hz. Just taking away that little bit of sharpness at the top that I felt was coming through. Also taking away some of the lows because that's where the bass and the kick's going to be, and I don't want it clashing. No need to sidechain it, just take it away. So that's the chords, and on the chords also is silver verb, and it's just a literally default silver verb that comes up, and I'll just literally put the bit on the 30 and drivers on 70 already, so that's how I did that one. The next one was the higher sounds that come in here. So on that I've just literally gone on to my channel EQ and I've taken away 200 Hz, 215 Hz, and then I've taken away around 17,000 Hz on the highs, just a little bit from the highs because the notes are high notes anyway, but it's just taking away anything that's a little bit not needed there, extra space. For the next bit that comes in is a snare, and so for that snare, so I'll talk about my tag quickly because that drops just before. So I've spoken on the tag before previously, like I say, it's one that I've already finally edited. So it just literally goes on, it gets turned down, and the channel EQ takes away around 250 Hz, depends on, yeah, it's around this 200 to 250 each time. Then as it drops, obviously we've got the snares that come into. So the snares are just simple. They've got some EQ on, and the EQ is taken away 200 Hz, and then there's nothing taken away from the highs because I want to keep all the highs I can into the claps and snares. So that's the first snare. The second snare is relatively the same. It's exactly the same as the first one, the second snare. Just a different type of snare, but I've just taken the same amount. So the kick has been bussed to 0-0, and it's got a compressor on. This is what I've done, is I've compressed that and also sidechained it to bus 3. So, and then it's on a 2:1:1 ratio, so basically when the bass is being played as well, because the bass has also got a compressor on, so when the bass is being played as well, it's cutting through to the kick more, so the kick's being heard more, it's standing out rather than the 808. And on my second sound that's there is the hats. So all I've done on my hats is I've sent all my hats, and I believe as well the open hat I've sent, yeah, an open hat I've also sent to a bus, which one is bus 4. Just let me quickly get that up. So for the bus 4, the reason I put all my hats in there is because just that you can control them into one bus and you know what you're doing. And so I've put a compressor on the bus with no sidechain or anything, just messed around with the threshold a little bit, and that was it. Pretty simple for the hats. The next sound you're going to hear is that, well, the open hat's relatively the same. Obviously it's been bussed, it's got a bit of stereo delay on because I like the sort of echo effect. Like that sound, it works relatively well. That next sound is the 808 that comes in. The 808 has channel EQ on. I've taken away around 45 Hz on the 808, and then I've taken away a little bit of I think it was around 136, just because I felt the certain 808 that I had was slightly muddy around that sort of era, and it was sort of clashing the kick, even though the kick was sidechain, it was still a little clashing a little bit, so I just took that out. Sounded much better, and also I've taken away a lot of the highs, just around sort of the 1600 sort of hertz. Instead of a crash, I've gone for a vocal chant to sort of indicate that the song's like starting. It's really simple. It's not over loud. It just comes through. You can hear it. It's got a stereo delay on it. It's also been tuned to what note I wanted it to be on, and I've also put some silver reverb on it as well. The channel EQ has taken away 355 lows with the hertz, and 7600 on the high it's taken out. The next set of hats are all the really same. They've taken out the exact same amount. They're just at different volumes in the mix. I put them in different volumes as I wanted my faster hats to come through quieter than my, say, triplet hats, just because different suspense and sits differently in the mix, I find. The next files here are exactly the same EQs as all the other files, but what I've done is I've exported them as an audio file, brought them back in, and then once they've been brought back in, I've reversed them, so I'll just quickly play it from there. I feel the reverse really works well. In fact, it just added a different element, and for me, there's a couple of things I feel like I've, over the certain couple of months, sort of almost gained as a trademark of myself, and that is three things, and obviously I don't apply them all at once in the track, but one of the methods is I like reversing my melodies at certain points in the track and just sort of a switch up, so that's like changing the track, but the melodies, the drums are still there, so the drums are still keeping that tempo going, but also you've got the change of the reverse of the melody, so it sounds nice. Also, another thing I've done is, so you've got this melody here, which is the chords, and sorry about the system. So that's the chords that are played majority throughout. So what I've done is, as the technique that I've sort of found is quite good, what I do is I stretch rather like if you was to stretch the file out like that, rather than do that, as I've clicked it, I hold down Alt and stretch. So what that does is, rather than just stretch the file out of the MIDI, it stretches out the actual notes, so the notes then get longer and start later, so they become, rather than a 4-bar melody, would become an 8-bar melody. So it works really well. Just quickly see if it can play without. So it's a lot longer chords, different now. I just feel it adds a different suspense, because obviously you've got them, they're a lot more frequent there. So yeah, that's the methods I've done for that on the Mixdown of this track. It's been quite simple. I followed the same methods, similar methods I've done for my last few tracks. I'll continue to get this mastered so it's ready to put on the FMP.